Hello to you all and welcome to Improvate's Cleantech and Renewable Energy 2021 International Conference. I'm Lauren Iso. Improvate is a platform for creating long-lasting connections, enabling change makers in technology and decision makers in government to make progress through innovation. Improvate is all about finding solutions and sparking collaborations that improve the quality of life for people around the world. Today's broadcast will be dedicated to green energy technologies and solutions. Governments around the world are investing billions of dollars to promote sustainable technologies and combat climate change. This provides unprecedented opportunities for technology companies in the clean tech sector. And today we will be hearing from energy, environment, and infrastructure ministers and top experts from Greece, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, Serbia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. We will also hear from Cleantech fund Capital Nature and leading Israeli technology and innovation companies, Chakratech, Airovation Technologies, Maiman, UBQ Materials, Luminescent Power, Qnergy, and Finergy. And as always, watching along with us are representatives of investment funds from around the world who are looking to invest in Israeli innovation. It possesses IP and deep scientific know-how in the field of air purification, indoors and outdoors, and strives to harness its breakthrough air purification technology and its highly capable team to ensure people's well-being and a healthier environment. Gil Tomer is co-founder and chief operating officer at Airovation Technologies. He is an experienced executive and entrepreneur who believes that wherever there is faith, one man can change the world. Gil joined the company's founding core to challenge one of the largest threats that humanity is facing with strong belief that in the cause that is uniting the team. Thank you so much, Gil, for joining me today.
Thank you, Lauren.
So one of the hottest topics today is the global zero net carbon ambition. Many nations, corporates, and influencers are occupied with this challenge. Why is Airovation raising so much attention, and what does Airovation have to offer that other companies don't have?
Yeah, that is very much true. There is a lot of interest, but until not long ago, it's important to understand that we were mainly recognized by government initiatives, grant initiatives, and some in the scientific community. And it was only lately that we are witnessing an enormous movement towards the clean tech and towards specifically the greenhouse gases and the CO2 capture, the carbon dioxide captured. So suddenly we found ourselves in the center of interest, and we understand that we have now enormous opportunities open for us. Now, we need to understand that each year 40 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide are emitted to the atmosphere. And again, it's a very, very immense problem that needs different solutions. Not only one solution, there's no magical solution that will solve this out, but more like varied solutions from different industries. And there are industries like renewable energies, like electric cars, for example, that are very important solutions, but industries will continue emitting CO2 to the atmosphere regardlessly. So there are other solutions that are needed. And another very important solution, one of the important solutions in this field is carbon capture. Carbon capture is a well-known practice of binding, in chemical reaction, binding the CO2 into minerals or into materials. Now, the captured carbon then needs to be dealt with sequestration or liquefying or storage or even transport. And all of these solutions are new problems that are caused from the capturing of the carbon. So what we bring, the solution that we bring to the table is a very, very efficient absorbent or a very efficient capturing into the minerals. And now we have valuable minerals. So we turn carbon into value, essentially. And we did not invent this practice, but we brought it to a stage or improved it into a stage. It is highly efficient and now can be scalable and can also create economical feasibility and economical profit. And this is maybe the big breakthrough and the big change that we are bringing to the table.
Interesting. So who exactly is your target audience? What problems are you looking to solve, and what reactions do you get from the field about your innovations?
That's interesting. The natural audience of ours is the fertilizer companies, because we can harness our chemistry and harness our very efficient solution that is happening in 1 second as opposed to other technologies that need to recycle and to just revert the action time and again, we can create a very efficient capturing. And in this capturing, we create a carbonate that is a valuable fertilizer that's already been used, and there is a demand in the global markets for this specific fertilizer. So our target audience will be the first allies, natural allies will be the fertilizer companies, will be all those companies who are already distributing or manufacturing globally these materials and have interest specifically in those minerals. But they see multiple matches in collaborating with us because first of all, they treat the CO2, so it's better PR for them, of course, and better public image. But on top of that, they want to meet future and already current regulation coming from the authorities dealing with CO2. And ultimately, they want to expand their market reach by using and utilizing our minerals in their global markets. So they will be the first customers. Later on, we see that we can actually treat each and every factory that is emitting carbon dioxide. Okay, we aim first to catch those who aim high concentrations of carbon dioxide and relatively clean carbon dioxide in order for us to be in our best and in order for us to be very valuable with a value proposition that we bring to the table. Lastly, but maybe not less important, is the fact that we can create a circular economy. So for example, imagine a glass factory. Okay, and this glass factory is emitting CO2 constantly, but on the other hand, they want to use the raw materials that are the minerals that we create as byproduct of the treatment of the CO2. So we want to create a circular economy that is using the CO2 coming from the very factory that we treat and give it back for reuse of the minerals.
Gil, one of the main typical difficulties in the carbon capture field is the economics. In most cases, it generates an operational loss and rarely reaches neutrality. How does your solution break that paradigm?
Yeah, that is correct. And so maybe the best well-known fact about carbon capture is the fact that it requires enormous capital expenses. And later on, it requires a lot of operational expenses. So one of the biggest advantages of our technology is the fact that we are treating on spot, meaning we can create a very small, relatively small footprint of a plant that will treat the carbon dioxide emissions. And then it will be relatively cheaper or relatively less consuming in the capital expenses. And now when we're looking about the operational expenses, the fact that we're creating those valuable minerals that are used for fertilizer industries, for other industries like glass, for example, and also be used even for food substances, then those minerals will create a profitable process or a profitable equation, which is a big breakthrough in the field of carbon capture, of carbon dioxide capturing.
So ultimately, what are Airovation's goals and when will we be seeing you commercially active?
All right. So our mission is to create an environment in which people can breathe freely in a healthy environment. And for that, we need to create alliances because we understand that no just one mayor, not just one company can tackle this big challenge. It requires collaborations. So we are now working on those collaborations. We already have the first pilot in plan, already going into field in 3 months. And we intend to be treating up to 1.8 million tons of CO2 in 5 years from now, creating usable minerals on the other side.
And how do you intend to take the lead in the global race for reaching net zero carbon emissions?
All right, so we do not intend to take the lead of that.
Okay.
We just intend to take the lead in a subdomain of the carbon capture that is called carbon capture utilization and mineralization. So our technology is a powerful mineralizing technology. And our big breakthrough is not, again, we did not invent it, but we improved it to a scale in which we can mineralize very efficient process, low consumption of energy, of course. And then on the other hand, on the other side, we'll produce valuable minerals, and by that we see a lot of interest coming from global players, and this is how we intend to position ourselves as the spearhead of carbon capture, utilization, and mineralization.
Thank you for clarifying that for us, Gil. We really appreciate you being with us today.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you.
That's it from Improvate's International Cleantech and Renewable Energy Conference. We've heard today from environment, energy, and infrastructure ministers from Israel, Europe, and Africa, from top experts in the field of renewable energy, and from leading Israeli technology companies. Improvate is all about access and connections, exposing Israeli tech leaders to governments and companies around the world to promote businesses whose goal is innovation. The exposure right here at this conference is the first step, and the next step, delegations and real-world business connections. We want to thank you all for taking part and hope this is just the start of doing business together, making technology accessible to all and improving the lives of people across the world. Keep an eye out for Improvate's Homeland Security Conference on April 12th. I'm Lauren Izzo. Thank you for joining us today.